Shounen Jump has done the impossible. It has created a new character in a new series called Do Retry that has the most annoying fucking catchphrase in the world. I thought Naruto's like, believe it, is pretty bad, but this one is pretty rough. And we're gonna go through the manga page by page, talking about the story, and then we'll talk about some things from a manga creator standpoint that it could have done differently, and then whether or not this thing seems to have any potential to actually be a mainline series. So jumping straight into it, the main character's name is Ozora, and I'm terrible with names, and everyone knows it. So we're just gonna go with Ozora regardless of what the hell it is. And it starts out in basically a World War II Japanese setting. And what's really weird about this thing is that it kind of opens with him seeing his dad like in a visionary way. So we see what type of character his dad was. And then we immediately jump into basically him going up against some bullies who want his sugar because apparently sugar is now a commodity. And we get a taste of that juicy, juicy pickup line. I got a stronger heart than y'all. Oh, doesn't it just fucking chase you off the tongue? Oh, I got a stronger heart than y'all. I would honestly prefer to hear believe it than this thing because it's just such a weird line and it happens over and over just within the first chapter. That's not even that long. And so after the main character proceeds to get his butt kicked by these bullies, he basically goes home to find out that his sister, who is 12 years old and is a freak of nature in the sense that she is much stronger than him, but believe it, that this main character has heart and he didn't give up. But he got his ass whooped. But at least he didn't give up until he could not move. But his sister has successfully retrieved the sugar. And then we get the weirdest introduction to a family member ever because she's there and then she's gone because the air raids come flying in and literally destroy pretty much everybody. This mother had a whopping 5 pages of existence. 5. And that doesn't mean she was actively doing stuff in each panel. No. Like, she may have had like 9 panels at max that she was involved. It's basically like, hi, I'm the mother character who doesn't even get a name, and then she's dead. Demon Slayer did more effort with their mother character. And we're going to talk about why the mother character is a little bit problematic. And I don't mean in like a traditional sense. So after the mother gets blitzed in the air raids by the US, we skip a year ahead, and then everybody's on the struggle bus. Everybody's poor. Everyone's a little bit fucking dirty, needs a little bath, probably a little bit of food. And so the US soldiers are giving out some candy, and our boy monkeys it up and just starts like saying these like food, ood, like just like he doesn't have a clue what he's saying to get some treats so he can take it back and feed his sister, who is now not doing hot. And what I mean by not doing hot is after the main characters get some treats, see some kid get beat up by some gangsters, and goes back home to, I guess, like this little communion area where everyone's kind of sleeping, it's revealed she's got the TB, tuberculosis. Like, I don't know if y'all know much about the disease, but back in the day, you get TB, you done. Like, you don't get to go past go. Like, that's your life. You are dead and you are on a clock. And so the main character's sister's basically dead at this point. And he's like, I got you, sis. Don't worry. We're going to figure it out. So he goes back to the destroyed house and somehow finds the wedding dress from his house's wreckage. And that's when he gets beat up by the gangsters that we saw from earlier. And knowing that his sister's on death's door because this doctor don't give a damn. Like, the doctor is not even giving her the time of day because they ain't got enough money to warrant his attention. So basically now he's on a mission to get some money, and the wedding dress seems to be the next best option to get money to get his sister treatment and to get put into a facility for the TB. And so he goes off. And he's like, I gotta do this. I'm gonna go fight the gangsters. So he goes there and starts to get his ass whooped. But because our boys got a stronger heart than y'all, he doesn't give up. He gets his butt whooped. He keeps on getting back up until the gangsters are eventually like distracted. Like, what the hell's this kid doing? Like, I can't knock him out. And the kid rolls up and clocks him right in the jaw, just like his daddy would have done. And the gangsters aren't too happy about that, but some mysterious lady comes and rescues him as he's about to get the absolute shit rocked out of him. And so this hot mommy boss comes in, takes him away, doesn't really give him a choice in the fact that he's going with her, and gets told, a little bit about boxing and gets shown to the underground world of boxing. And because he put on a really good display, he not only gets the dress back from this woman, but she also gives him some cash and basically gives him the offer of, hey kid, you box for me and you probably gonna find some money. And so that's basically the breakdown. And the reason I didn't really mention the sister is because her name is Akiri and she's 12 years old, but she's got TB. And from a creator standpoint, let's talk a little bit about this series and why it felt like it had a really rough start. Is because like the first quarter is virtually pointless. The entire first opening act, not the piece where he's like seeing his dad, but the actual air raids is pointless. They wasted so much paneling on his mother. Like we basically get 2 restarts. And so the reason the opening is so rough is because in the terms of a story structure, the very first part that you have to establish is the character's normal life before the inciting incident, before they go on their journey. And we basically get 2 of those, one pre-air raids and one post. And the thing about the pre is that we see him getting bullied and we see him stick up for himself. Because he's got heart, he just keeps on getting up until he just basically gets beat down to the point he can't move. He gets his sugar stolen, and then his sister has to get the sugar back, and we know that he loves his sister and his mother. But the thing is, the mother doesn't impact the story at all. She had no purpose even being in the story. She makes so little impact and takes up enough screen time that it is actively a waste to even bring her into the story. Because we don't care about the mother. We don't even know her name. The only thing that she talks about is basically like, oh, I'm the mother, keep on doing your thing. Like that's basically all she contributes. So they could have cut her out entirely. And the thing about the sister is, sure, she's a freak of nature in terms of her strength and that she loves her brother, but that's basically it. And her character makes a complete 180 whenever you hit the post air raids. So if you would have removed the entire beginning, I would have been more invested in seeing a village that has been hit by the air raids of the US, and we get a little bit of flashback sequence of kind of what the world's like, but we need to see more of what the post air raid world is about, because that is the active world that they are living in for the year that the story has taken place so far. What was his life like in that year? What did his community have to go through? And we needed all that extra context to build upon the world that was wasted in the pre-air raids. So if I was writing this thing, I'd have got rid of the entire opening and focused on showing what this character is like in the post-air raid world, because of the fact that we see a character get bullied and he doesn't intervene. So if he would have intervened in that situation and showed his tough grit or whatever he wants to call it, that would have had a much bigger impact than him trying to fight for some sugar for his sister and family. So you wasted precious space with a mother character that doesn't even live long. And the fact that you gave TB to the sister just kind of almost puts her in like a freezer position, because unless you're going to start pulling some miracle juice out of somewhere, she's dead. You don't have the money, and TB was almost a death sentence back in that day. So potentially I would have given the sister something a little bit different. And I don't, as a reader, want to get invested in the sister character at all because of how devastating TB is. And so the story basically doesn't have a strong grip for what the character is, motivated for, because his sister is virtually already a dead person. So what's he going to fight for now? So as far as the character motivation, I think they could have done a lot better job in how they set up the struggle that he's going to have to face. And then also a little bit more about the boxing. Like, sure, we know his dad's off in the war, and we know he wants to emulate his dad, but doesn't have the strength to do it. Cool, you got a character that doesn't give up. Sure, we've already got that in Deku. We've already got that in Naruto. So what is separating this main character from those already mainline characters that already have their own fandoms, that already have their own massive stories? What sets this character apart? And so far in chapter 1, we haven't gotten anything that separates this character apart from any of the other Shounen Jump characters, other than a really crappy catchphrase. So pretty much my thoughts on the future of this series is, ever since like Red Hood Guild, I've kind of held off on opinions with first, chapters, because I ended up really liking Red Hood and it got canceled. but seeing how rough this opening was for this series, unless they really do something with chapter 2 and 3, I'm not seeing this series sticking around for the long run. Like, this series does not have the interest that I was expecting it to have whenever I saw the cover. So do you guys think that Do Retry is actually going to stick around? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what series I should check out next. And also, we do have a Kickstarter for Night of Slaughter. My manga that is based off my homebrew D&D campaigns is out on Kickstarter now, and we're almost 50%. So definitely go check it out. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you guys later.